that. But Cincinnati, cheap, frugal organization, that's usually where a lot of problems come up. So deals are done. Around the corner, after we end up having our interview up from here, we'll talk about the Micah Parsons situation up and in Dallas. But I do want to shift over to this. So joining us here, I love this, where players who give their production in the league, but yet have the ability to contribute more inside the league is something special and worth talking about, especially when you're trying to build the future talent. And talking about it, because I've been critical about the Sixers for the last few years now. And now, getting a chance to kind of get a look on the inside, I'm really excited about this one. So joining us, former NBA forward center Sharone Wright joins us here on the program. Right, so Sharone, listen, for years for the 76ers in the last couple of years, I mean, they've been way up and down. I mean, the whole Joel Embiid injuries, the Ben Simmons situation, and then not to mention trying to find the competent coach who just looks, feels, and coaches like Philly. I mean, right. Nobody knows Philly better than Philly fans, okay? Because right. It's tough. It's a great culture. I've never been there, but I do have a lot of my colleagues who live there, and they say, Jake, you got to come. Get a Philly cheesesteak, come to a game. You got to experience how tough and gritty we are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've experienced this organization. And when I think very critically about the Sixers, I want Joel Embiid to just have a healthy season, because when he does, he's a very good defensive player. I would say right flat out, top 5, definitely looking good. But it's just about the consistency. And I love Tyrese Maxey, and I love, McCann. I mean, what's it got to take in order to build this consistency here in this organization?
I think, what's up, guys? I'm happy to be here. I just think it's been, he hasn't had a whole lot of time to heal. I think when we first started the trust the process situation, when we had that, and, he was coming from Kansas, and Joel had a lot of injuries. He had a really, really instructive injury where he had to be out. But it gave him a chance to work on his skill set. Him being out a whole year and a little bit of a change, it made him understand that, okay, I'm gonna have to, when I do play, then it's gonna have to be really cool for us. So, and then now, the knee has been really bad, and we haven't had any consistency with it. That's what it is. It's not that he doesn't want to play; he loves the game. He loves the game. I mean, and so, but as a player, if you're not healthy, there's just nothing you can do. It doesn't matter who's online talking about it or whatever, the average fan. But if you're not healthy, it's going to be a problem. So sometimes you need time to do it. It takes, when you play 82 games plus playoffs plus a little bit of preseason, that's almost 100 games. It's hard on your body. I'm not saying that when he doesn't play well, it's okay. I'm just saying that sometimes, guys hit a bump, hit a slide, and he's hit a slide, and he's got to recoup from that.
It's interesting, Sharone, when I think about it. So talk to me about this draft pick, because this kid's got a lot of upside. I think this kid could really be the balancer amongst what the Sixers are trying to do, because I could see this stuff when they are on. They can attack the perimeter. They can give you really good backcourt defense. And at the same time, you needed a wing to defend, right? And then even give you those shots that you need. Talk to me about this draft pick, because I even talked to Matt Babcock not too long ago, NBA draft analyst, and he is very, very high, saying that the Sixers got a steal. This kid's going to be something else here for the future. What do you think about this kid and his skill set? And is this something he's going to be that middleman there that can really balance out this pendulum?
Well, Jake, I'm glad you asked, because did you see him in summer league? He absolutely.
Oh man, he looked nice.
and shout out to the Sixers staff, in terms of like the draft process. This kid is unbelievable. He's an NBA ready kid. VJ is. VJ's an NBA ready kid. He'll plug right in. I'm not saying he'll start, because Jared has played well. Jared played well for us last year. And then if we get Paul George to be the Paul George, I mean, you better watch out. If we get Paul George and we get we get Joel playing pretty well. I mean, it can be a really, really solid season. Definitely a playoff team. I think, the sky's the limit when you have that. But I think it all depends on Paul George. But this kid, you saw that Baylor, man. He athletic. I love it because he's a two-way player. He can defend very well. Very good defender. I mean, side block shots. He plays the pick and roll pretty well. And we know how athletic he is. He can get his own shot. Now, we'll work on the little they will work on the little nuances in his game. But I love his game, and I thought that was a pretty good pick.
That looked nice. When I watched him up and in the summer league, I mean, just the touch, the fluidity that he had moving up and down the court. I think they really did get a steal, in my opinion. I think this was what Philadelphia really, really needed.
Yeah.
So I'd like to bring up a situation here, and I know this happened last year. Mm-hmm. So we know these two, they had to get up and onto the same page. Where Ben Simmons is gone, Joel Embiid now needed to step up to be that leader and lead by example. Well, Tyrese Maxey, when he came out, and you got a 20-year-old kid calling you out, you're late for practices, you're kind of flaking here and there for some of this stuff. Now, again, I don't know what goes on in the locker rooms, but I do know this. You do mirror off to your peers how you carry yourself. I'm not saying Embiid ain't going through something mentally or none of that.
Yeah.
But you got to keep a consistency there.
Yeah.
Do you kind of see that with the two of them, they're going to get on the same page? They'll be much more fluid offensively and defensively to where they can make the stops and even making the blocks and steals. Because these were two that I was like, Tyrese Maxey, I would love to have a leader if, when in doubt, Joel Embiid moves on. And this could be exactly the attitude the Philadelphia needed. What do you think of that situation? Because I was like, oh, man.
But Jake, you know how like sometimes you have a friend or your brother and they hold you accountable for something. They say, okay, you got to do this. I think that's what it was. And I think I'm not sure Joel was in a good space at that point. But Tyrese, and it didn't get messy. It just was like, okay, I'm one of the leaders too. And for us to be successful, you're going to have to come on time. You're going, so that's all that was. I've had guys in my career, man, I played with Vernon Maxwell, so I can tell you, but older guys that are veteran. In this case, he's not older, but some guys hold you accountable. Jeff Malone held me accountable. Okay, Scott Williams, I was with those guys. They held me accountable. That's just kind of what it is. I played with John Long and Earl Curitan. They big-time vets. I mean, they just held me accountable. Me and Damon Stoudemire and Marcus Camby and that group. I mean, they just held us accountable. That's all it really is sometimes, and sometimes you lead by example. Sometimes you lead by your voice. Sometimes you lead by different things. So, but I would love to see a healthy Joel. Because if you get a healthy Joel, then everything kind of works out. And if you get a healthy Paul George, I mean, that, and you got Jared, and then you have this new kid, and then all the other pieces that we have with the Sixers. It could be a very strong season because in the East, it's going to be wide open this year, I feel like.
Yeah, I have a feeling of it too. And something that was really interesting, we watched it during the playoffs, and I even watched it all during the regular season. So to talking about this, Sharone, you've been in this league. You played, it's funny. You came in 94. I wasn't born until, this is what actually will make you laugh. I was actually born the exact day in 1995, on March 19th, the exact day MJ played his first game back in Chicago.
From baseball.
From baseball into basketball. Because March 18th, that's when he made the deal saying, I'm back. Yeah. And then the next day, he comes in and plays, and it's like he never left.
You mean the Knicks game, the double nickel game?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
So I was born at 3 o'clock up under that day. But you came in at a time where basketball play was a little different. It was a little more physical. It was more of fighting for every chance, whether you were driving to the basket, whether you were either trying to create shots within the perimeter. The three-pointers were not as big as a necessity, but it did help, even when you got like the Steve Kerrs, the Derek Fishers, and a couple of them. So in this play of league, okay, we are starting to get much more offensive and much more skill-based. But you know what I liked all through the playoffs? I love that we're bringing back the hand check because this it makes NBA and basketball play a little more exciting when you can get a little physicality. But
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
skill set based. What did you make of that? Because the playoffs, I was like, I'm hooked. I'm like, this brings me back to borderline 90s, 2000s basketball, but the skill base, it's getting better and better as it goes.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're spot on, Jay, because and I do believe that Adam Silver wants to make it a little bit more stronger league. I mean, you got too many threes being shot. I mean, the shot clock is just non-existent nowadays because they're jacking up shots right away. So it's a little bit horrible. But I think now you're seeing a lot of physicality now coming back, and that's the type of players you have too. So you have a Jalen Duren, and you have certain guys that are really really punished guys. And to talk about what you talked about with hand checking, remember I played against Derek Harper. I mean,
Mhm.
guys like that just hand check you the whole time. These guards, you see all these dynamic guards. When I played, they never would have did all that because they couldn't get the ball up half court. You had
Yep.
Muggsy Bogues. You had there's a lot of defensive guards that would just pound your ass the whole time. You were so tired by the time you got across the half court line. You were tired. You didn't have time to shoot a Steph Curry three. So but again, like I like the physicality part of it. I think it needs to be a mixture of it. Sometimes people come out and they say, well, this person could have played in that era and that person could have played in that. No, I don't think that's it. I just think, I mean, certain guys are physical guys, some guys are finesse guys. And I think there are guys now that could play in the league when I played. I
Mhm.
think Kevin Durant could play. I think LeBron could have played. I think, there are guys that are playing now that could have stepped in, maybe not as efficient, but they could have played.
Yeah, because to me, it's just like it makes the sport so interesting. I mean, because I loved it. Like, I've watched several documentaries. I've watched Last Dance, I've watched Winning Times, and I love where it was so downright in the trenches and gritty to where, like, you were fighting, like, you had a rival there. Like, you respected each other as a player in person, but it was like, man, we got to fight for, those
Yeah,
points. We got
yeah.
to fight for like the time because it's you against time at the end of the day. So I think about this and talking about this parity thing because we're starting to see this shift. And there was a time I kind of put Adam Silver a little bit up and on blast. I understand trying to make a parody of the league, but I'm all about players getting paid, but at the same time, like the player mobility, all this movement and such, where like no super teams even exist anymore. So now you're getting OKCs, you're getting Indianas, you're getting a lot of these other, small market teams that are now starting to make a rise. And then I look at Orlando, they made some moves. A couple other teams have made some moves. Is this kind of like, is this kind of putting the platform now where a lot of these small market teams they're now kind of getting their shots and their opportunities to want to play with the big dogs.
I always thought that was that was the thing you should do. I always felt that way. I played when Milwaukee was a place that no one wanted to go to and kind of still is. And you think
Mm-hmm.
about now we have OKC, and that's a place guys want to go to, but it's not a big market. I think guys. Here's my thing, though, Jay. I think guys really like player players want to control their future. Let me say this, because guys don't want to go to a place where they don't have nightlife. They don't want to. The weather's not good. I mean, guys are not. And free agency. Here's the thing. Me and my cousin was talking about this. Um, Guys are re-signing with the clubs that they're with. Not only because they have the rights to the team has the rights to them, so they can get the most money out of when they re-sign. But when you have a true free agent is not gonna go to a place where there's no sun, where they have a coach that's gonna run their ass to death. They're not gonna go to there like they're not going to the heat culture and stuff like that where you rent all day. And they're not doing that. They're gonna go where they can get the most opportunities off the court, where they can make more money, where they can, saying the coach is not a bruiser, where he works some all the time, and also, the weather and the tax situation. Guys are looking at that type of stuff now. I think, it's getting harder and harder for some of the small market teams, and I know Mr. Silver wanted to kind of correct that.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I even think about college play where guys are coming back another year up and in college with the NIL and the transfer portal. That's one thing that's really been kind of interesting
Yeah,
and impacting some of
yeah,
these smaller market schools because I mean when you get Dukes and North Carolinas and a lot of these big programs that got a lot of money in their back pockets, I mean it's kind of hard to really challenge it. My co-host actually, and it's a fun question, but he ended up asking about this. The possibility, and this is just hypothetical, but a possibility of an MJ LeBron matchup, who would you take and why?
Man, let me just, Jake, I'm enjoying myself on this show. I'm gonna just tell you this, man, and you know that you're I wouldn't call you. Are you call yourself a millennial? Would you say you're a millennial or you're Gen X?
I actually kind of am because I'm like right there. I was born in 95, so I'm
Yeah,
about,
yeah. You're a
yeah,
millennial.
yeah.
So, some of these millennials and Generation X guys, I understand it. You and God bless you for being such a great sports guy. And I love your knowledge. I know that. But let me just tell you this, man. And this is me. And you can put 10 guys who played the game up here, and they all are gonna tell you, all of them, and I'll put $100 on it. They all will tell you the Black Cat is the greatest to ever play, and it ain't even close. Okay, let me just say it again. He's the greatest to ever play, and it's not even close to anybody. Not just This is not the shade LeBron. I love LeBron James, but Michael Jordan is on another level, man. It's not even close, brother. And I want you to, and I'm gonna say Dr. J, Magic Johnson, all the greats.
Mm-hmm.
If you line us up, well, not me, I'm not a great, but if you line everybody up, all of them will tell you the same. They all will. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
He's quicker, he's faster, he's more hungrier, he's stronger, he's got more tenacity, he's a winner, and he's a dog. You understand
Oh
me?
yeah. Oh
He is
yeah.
a dog. He was, man. I I played against him like a lot of times, and I'm just gonna tell you, there's nobody like him. Okay, and I love Wilt Chamberlain. I love all the numbers that Wilt Chamberlain had. But Jake, nothing compares to this man. Do you understand that? I just want you to understand it. And you're gonna have millennials and people who love sports like yourself and who played it. I get it. You're gonna have your debates. It's fun to debate it. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when you ask a person who actually played against him and who grew up watching him but then played against him a lot, man, it ain't even close, bro. I'm
Oh
serious.
man,
Not even close.
when I think of nostalgia, I mean, here's the thing: I've got a Jordan jersey and everything, and the only reason of it is because I know being one of the greatest. I mean, being the greatest up on the court, but then even watching the film of
Yeah,
Air, I
right.
mean, there was no bigger nostalgia market than when
Man,
you signed with Jordan. It was
man.
just like I couldn't even believe my own eyes. And I remember even just living the tail end and just kind of witnessing that because once, the last dance, I mean, it told you a lot about what his character, his charisma, and a lot of things that it was about. You can't replicate that anywhere else.
I
The
got a story
closest
to
thing
tell you.
that you could, the closest thing you probably could was maybe the late Kobe Bryant. I mean,
Yeah,
Black Mama mentality,
yeah,
and that
yeah,
was the one thing. But yeah, you had a story about
yeah. I
this one.
got a story to tell you, and I tell this story all the time. And if you ask Vernon, Mad Max, you ask him, you ask Stackhouse, you ask all of us, uh, they'll tell you this story is true. So I think this was '96, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
year I got traded, and we're sitting there, and this was before there was the internet. The internet was here, but it wasn't like it is now. So back then you had beat writers. We had a beat writer in Philly named Phil Jasner. I remember the name, Phil Jasner from Philly. He's like historically he's one of the best to ever do it. So he's like, the whole North Carolina thing, and I'm an ACC guy. I'm an ACC guy from Clemson, so I know. So he comes in and he's like, okay, like Jerry Stackhouse, like Jerry, like who I love Stack, and he says, Stack, I heard that you and You and Michael, y'all play sometimes at Carolina back, no, whatever. So Vernon being Vernon's like, hey man, we don't care about Michael and Scotty. They put their shoes on just like the way we do. And I started thinking like, well, Michael Jordan don't put his shoes on the way we do. I mean, he's different. And anyway, Phil Jasner goes and tells Michael, man, as soon as we start the game, I'm a starter at that time. We pull off. Michael's talking a whole bunch of shit. Oh man, he's just and Jerry, being a competitor Jerry's a competitor too. So Jerry going right back at him, talking shit, whatever. And so, man, Michael goes off for he goes off for I think it was like 48. And then we were in the top of the third quarter when Phil took him out of the game. He could have had 70. And all of them were, Jerry was a very good defender. Jerry Stackhouse, his rookie year, Jerry was a really good defender. And that was nothing he could do. That was nothing Jerry could do. And Jerry limited him, but it was just like, he was like, that you reach, I teach, all that. I just heard him. And he was putting him, and Phil was putting him on an island. Back then, it was illegal defense back in the day. So you had to guard people. It's not like now you can zone up. Now, it wasn't no zone. You had to guard your guy back then, or it would be illegal defense. Man, he scored 48, and we had, 10 minutes to go in the third. He could, if he left me in the game, he'd have had 70 or 80. And it was all just like, he was just, don't you ever disrespect me. Not, don't you ever say this. It's like for the whole team. He's like, it wasn't a Jerry. It was just like, he just did it to everybody. It was just unbelievable. I'd never seen anything like it. Especially with the way Jerry was. Jerry was an excellent player. And he just did it. Everybody that got switched off on him, you got it. It's just, so.
Yeah, no, that I remember the days of Jerry Stackhouse, man. And that's insane though. But that does tell you a lot about just
tells you everything.
His game, his craft, and just when he gets right there up and in your head, man, there's just no stopping it. You're just along for the ride.
No stopping. None. There's no. Bobby Knight said, not to interrupt you, Jake. Bobby Knight said that there's Michael Jordan and there's everybody else. He's the greatest player to ever touch a ball. And it's like, and Bobby Knight he didn't give compliments. He never did. But he coached him on the Olympic team in '84. And he was like, there's no way. He was like, this guy is the greatest to ever play right now. And Jordan hadn't played an NBA game yet at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna tell you, man. I was in the Central, when we were, I was in with the Philly. I was when we changed conferences, and it was just like, man, I just never seen anything like it. He was just unbelievable, Jake.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's an absolute honor to have you here on the show, brother. Sharing your expertise, man. By the way, we talked about it a couple days ago, and I know you being a Clemson alumni, Clemson LSU this weekend.
2 more days,
how we
baby.
feeling?
2 more days, baby. 2 more days, and we gonna kick that ass.
Oh man, Garrett Nussmeier against Cade Klubnik. I'm all for it, man. Oh my God.
Hey, Nussmeier. Hey, Jake. Nussmeier's got a good team.
He does.
We have Peter Woods. We have T.J. Parker. We got the best wide receiver room in the country, and I think we got a new defensive coordinator. We got 5 NFL receivers right now. And man, let me tell you, our defense. We got 3 NFL corners on that team. We're stacked, man. We're stacked.
Oh man, Clemson's about to make some noise this year, man.
I think we win it all this year, Jake. Mark my words.
All right. There we go. For all the Clemson Tiger fans up out there, let's hear y'all. Appreciate you for coming on by here, Sharone. Take care of yourself and go Tigers here in this game.
My man, Jake, hit me up, man, anytime.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a big football fan, too. And have me on, man. I'll come in and give you my picks.
Love it. Hey, you know what? May end up having you anytime that we do like our prime predictions. That'd be awesome. Because I do it every year. Yeah.
Let's do it. I got a whole bunch of picks. It's better that than my DraftKings. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather do
this. Sweet. I'll definitely give you some info on it, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. Be easy. Right. God bless you.
God bless you, man. There you go. What do you think, Chase?